Today marks an end of a trilogy. And right on the right side, you see Sin with face expressions. And Matt is going to explain how much he laughed at this movie.
Because of how bad it was.
So, the plot. Where to begin with the plot? It starts off like what, 4 years?
4 years later, and
Okay,
some people
4 years later.
concerned it was going to have to do with COVID.
A lot
but
of
it had
stuff I
nothing to
was
do with
hoping that didn't carry over from Kills did carry over from Kills, so we have to live with that fact. They try something different. While it was kind of interesting what they were trying to do, the execution wasn't all there. And then
Yeah.
would we kind of consider this part of the Halloween?
I am personally not.
Because
counting it
from how Sin mentioned, they kind of did almost like a Halloween 3, but like at least with the titles screen. And
right. Well,
now personally, I haven't seen it, but from what Sin has addressed, the font was different.
Yeah.
And I recommend you watching it because the font that they used for this one was the same font.
Yeah, and I wonder if they were doing that on purpose because of what they were going for.
Yes, it was a subliminal message, and I picked up on the change in font right away, and I didn't like it. And I didn't know at that moment what it meant, but I didn't like it. And I also didn't like that the intro music, to the Universal thing and the Blumhouse, it wasn't like this creepy music that they had been playing.
No,
it was something upbeat and jazzy and whatever.
Well,
heavy.
The opening scene was like good night.
I did like that opening
scene. After that, we move on to a few years after that.
Well, it was 2019. The opening scene took place in 2019, which was supposed to be a year after the events of Kills in 2018.
Right.
And then after that was supposed to be 3 years later, I believe.
Yeah.
I think.
The thing is, I don't know if this should be kind of similar to our previous Halloween review, where we kind of already gave a lot of spoilers for that one. I did put that as a spoiler review.
I would give spoilers. I mean, how can we talk about it?
I'm going to tell you this. Michael Myers, for the next, several minutes of the beginning of this film, he's not really around much. And then he meets
It's more than just several minutes, Arturo. He doesn't show up until the 40-minute mark. 40 to 45 minutes was when he actually first shows up.
But then,
I was fine with that. That didn't bother me.
But the character that he meets,
yes, that bothered me.
Yeah, everybody look at Cin's face right now. Once I edit this, I'm going to zoom so close up, you're going to see her face.
I'm seriously unhappy about it. I'm still unhappy about it.
And characters were kind of a little different. So, for example, Laura's granddaughter,
Allison.
I mean, I get she's older now, and she's got a job at a hospital, and she's falling in love with this guy that's been mistreated because of a specific thing that happened at the beginning. But then she kind of she's kind of acting like how typical teenagers would act when they're
but she's older than a teenager.
I mean, you could say she's one to live her own life, but the character that she's going to be with, he's been getting into stuff.
Okay, so the characters, you're kind of being vague.
I'm trying to be as vague as possible.
No, let's be specific, because by now, most of the people that are going to see it have already seen it.
I've seen it twice.
I've only seen it once, and that was enough for me. She's hooked up with Corey.
Yeah,
Laurie introduced Corey and Allison. At the beginning, Corey accidentally killed a child that he was babysitting. And he goes to jail, but there was a trial. He was found not guilty, so he's off.
Right.
But the town treats him like a pariah.
Right.
And Laurie introduces him to her granddaughter.
Yeah.
And then they begin to form this, he's still being mistreated by the town. He meets Michael Myers. We find out Michael Myers has been hiding in the sewers for the past 4 years.
Eating
still had,
livestock, I guess.
I guess, rats or killing bums or
Yeah.
whatever. But
But I'm surprised he didn't.
when
I'm
he's getting,
surprised he didn't kill that one bum that was like
yeah, no,
lurking
that's
around.
kind of weird too, because if I remember correctly, there were references to him dragging other people down there, and I guess killing them. Okay, that's
And
what
eating
I
them.
thought.
So he's not just a serial killer; he's a cannibal.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming he ate them or animals or whatever, but he meets Corey. He grabs Corey by the throat, and they have this special soul gaze. And
Which
then
is
he
beautiful.
sees that, oh gosh, this was so cringe. He sees that
Corey has the same darkness that he does, and he lets him freaking go.
when that moment happened, that's when the movie lost me. I was with it up until then, and then everything after that was just
nothing but like what?
characters that did things that didn't make sense.
And then on top
illogical stuff.
On top of that, characters that should have died.
Sandra, the
even,
graveyard caretaker from.
I mean, you know, I was making this joke with a friend that this has to be like a My Hero Academia universe because you could pretty much walk it off.
Oh, that's what you were talking about in the car.
Yeah. Well, My Hero Academia. I mean, here's the thing, and I'm comparing a superhero anime show to a horror movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I feel, like, because it's like their superhuman strength. You get slashed so hard, you should die, and yet you're still moving.
You know, it's crazy. So horror movies have this reputation for very, a lot of unrealistic stuff that happens to either the bad guys, sometimes the protagonist, the good guys. And it's been really inconsistent over the years or throughout the Halloween franchise. So Michael Myers, okay, so in the second Halloween movie, the second one from way back in the 80s, this guy dies because he falls and hits his head. But Corey can stab himself in the neck with a huge ass knife, stab himself in the neck, and then he can also get shot, and he doesn't die. He's still alive to try to fight Michael Myers. Michael Myers can withstand all this horrendous stuff that goes on in Kills and horrendous stuff that goes on in Ends. But, and with a deep throat slash, but he has strength enough to almost kill Laurie. But yet at the same time, earlier, this punk-ass Corey kid beats him up, knocks him down, whatever, takes his mask. Makes no sense. Not consistent at all.
I thought that scene was kind of funny because you see Michael Myers actually have a hard time tussling with somebody.
Right. But this is the same kid that couldn't defend himself earlier against the group of punks. But yet he can take down Michael Myers, and he could survive a self-inflicted throat gashing and still try to fight Michael Myers. It was just...
I'm telling you, it's the My Hero Academia universe. Nothing is impossible, like what Shia LaBeouf would say.
Nothing is impossible!
Could that be because of the reshoots?
I don't... That's a good question. Honestly, I don't know, because I don't know what they reshot.
I'm asking that because in the beginning, when they show Michael Myers for the first time, you see him, like, kind of holding one of his arms a little bit, like it got injured. This is, like, the very beginning, like, the first suit, kind of looking like he's a little weaker. And it's almost like someone stepped in and said, no, we can't do that. Let's make him stronger towards the ending, and then they reshot it. That's why Corey could beat him up. Is that maybe in the original version?
Well, Corey didn't beat him up until they met each other again later.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, is that may have been part of the original script, and then they scratched the ending.
Who the heck knows? They tried to sell this thing to us as something that they had planned. They had it planned out. But it was obvious when Kills came along that they really didn't.
Kills
and then it was supposed to all happen in one night, but then that got changed. So no, they did not have it all mapped out.
Yeah.
I was saying, like, afterwards, like, this was kind of like the sequel trilogy issue that we thought they had it planned out.
Oh, you mean with Star Wars?
By the second one, no, and then the third one, why? Sort of, it's like that. So you have these classic franchises that these companies take, and the first one's so, like, it's the same with Jurassic World.
Yeah,
First
that was
one, like
also
that's
mentioned as
another
well.
example. That's
That
another
came up.
example of taking a franchise doing so well with the first one. All of a sudden, the sequels cannot live up to the first one.
Yeah,
And it's just
that's true.
it's really sad, to be honest.
It's frustrating, and it as a fan, it
I
makes
mean,
me angry.
okay. I haven't seen Jurassic World 3, but from what you said, at least the original characters were not like messed up.
They were not sort of just given their 5 minutes of screen time and then brushed aside.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
were treated
At least they were treated
pretty
right.
respectfully as
Even
far
though the
as
movie,
that.
from
The
what I've heard,
movie
is not
was
as yeah.
no, it was not very good. But that was a positive that movie did have, in its favor, that they did give them ample screen time, and those characters had a significant part to play.
Yeah. And
So,
would you consider like the Terminator also to have an issue with that?
Terminator
Dark
has
Fate?
been mistreated too. Yeah, that's a series that's been just absolutely just bungled so badly, but probably not as badly as what happened here in Halloween and with Star Wars.
I was watching it and I'm thinking, like, what am I watching?
Right. Right. That was just I was just
It just felt like an odd Halloween movie.
it didn't feel like a Halloween movie. Now some people have tried to get on the case of fans like me who were not happy with it, and they have made claims like, well, you're not a true Halloween fan, which is complete bullcrap. Or they'll say things like, well, you're just a Michael Myers fan, you're not a Halloween fan, that sort of thing, which makes no sense because Michael Myers is synonymous with the Halloween franchise. This is the reason that Halloween 3 did not perform well, because they tried to get back to the original plan of anthology series of movies, and the fans were having none of it. Now, some people have also tried to compare Halloween 3, which was not about Michael Myers at all, with Halloween Ends, and they've made the claim that, well, Halloween 3 now has a cult following. It's now fans love it. Well, yeah, because they realized that since it's not connected at all to the Halloween franchise, it actually is a decent horror movie. Ends is connected to the Halloween franchise. It was also presented as a Michael Myers and Laurie Strode showdown story, and that's not really what we got. The showdown at the end felt like something tacked on as an afterthought. Oh yeah, we have to have them fight. Okay, so Michael, come in, get that mask, put it on.
I mean, I didn't mind the whole fight scene. I like to see Laurie kick Michael's ass.
I mean, I didn't either, but it felt like an afterthought. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It didn't feel like that was what the whole
Because
thing
right
revolved
after,
around.
like, Michael, like, what, somehow follows Corey home. Because he's, like, driven by that mask.
He follows Corey. How in the world he followed Corey that quickly? I have no idea, because Corey traveled to and fro on his motorbike. It doesn't show Michael having a vehicle at all, so that meant he walked. How's he going to walk through this town without being seen at all?
I mean,
for
he
who
did
knows
it
how
in
many
Kills.
miles?
He did it in he did it in the first one, then he did it in Kills.
In the first one, Arturo, he traveled by vehicle. He would travel by vehicle to where he was going.
Second one, he did travel. He just walked.
Which one? You talking about 2018?
Kills. In Kills, he walked around.
Yeah, in Kills, he was walking around, but people were seeing him.
Yeah.
They were like, the kids saw him in the park. And what's that?
Maybe he had maybe the homeless person had a bike and he was like on the bike.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh my gosh, can you imagine the visual? Arturo, and
funny.
eventually in Kills, he was spotted. He was caught.
Yeah.
And in this one, you're trying to tell me he walked all the way from wherever that sewage drain was, however many miles to where Laurie's house is, and nobody saw him? And how could he even follow? How could he even follow Corey's motorbike? You can't walk that fast.
The soul bond.
Yeah, that has to be what it was. But it just made no sense. There was no logical, like at least in 2018, when there was the showdown between Laurie and Michael, that was engineered by Sartain. So that's how Michael ended up at Laurie's house. It wasn't like he was hunting her down. It wasn't like he just happened to come across her house. The doctor brought him there.
Yeah.
So this other stuff that was going on in Ends is just like, how? We're told by David Gordon Green he's supposed to be human. So this, soul bond and transferring
yet
of
he still got
evil, that's not even
slashed
supposed to be a thing. I
in
know.
specific spots. I was, and then there was something typical that happened. Oh yeah, yeah. Two things that happened that were just typical. One of the guys shot a guy by accident in the head because he raised his
Right.
The
Shot his
second, but
stepfather.
the worst typical one was what happened in the house after Corey did what he did to himself.
You mean when Laurie, like an idiot, pulled the knife
Picked
out of
up
his
the
neck?
knife and then
That was so stupid.
I said out loud,
Don't
and my friend
pick-
heard me say, I was like, typical.
Yeah.
Typical.
It was, and of course, right at that moment, Allison
I'm like,
walks in.
I'm like, oh my God, you're going to pick up she's going to walk in and she's going to assume you did it. Of course.
Yeah. It was
Matt,
it was.
Can you explain to me
so
why you
mishandled
thought every moment of it was funny?
because of how bad it was.
It's hard to explain. It's like it didn't fit any of the others, and some of the stuff that was happening, it's just kind of scratching your head with why are they doing this? I think I can explain the neck thing with when he got cut in the neck. He probably was really good at like clasping like this or something, and it's a muscle. And I will say, I think Michael was a very good parent to what's his name?
To Corey. Okay.
To Corey, yeah. He trained him on hunting.
Gosh.
He watched him get home. His actual parents never did that.
He had to make sure.
Yes. Yes, Michael was just concerned. That's why he attacked.
Lord.
And he wanted his mask back. You know,
Mm.
like when kids borrow like your laptop or your phone, it's just like that.
I can't. I just can't with this. I'm still so salty. You know, I mentioned
so Matt was laughing at most like some scenes in there just because of how crazy it was.
because and Kills. Did you feel like Kills was comedic as well?
Well, I can explain everything in Kills. He's like quadruple jointed. That's how he took all the wounds. Is he has so many joints and possible brain damage. They mentioned brain damage in this one, so maybe he could feel it.
Well, I
Which
mean,
actually
I
makes
could go with your theory
Rory
that
the
maybe
villain?
he.
Because he doesn't know any better.
Well,
Maybe that's what the movie's about. Maybe he's actually the hero.
I could
And-
see. I don't know. He feels pain. He
Yeah.
reacts to pain. He does react
Oh,
when
he
it's
does
convenient.
because I was thinking,
when
well,
it's
maybe
convenient, he feels pain.
I thought maybe it was more like he can't feel pain.
Well, I
That's
could
what-
get behind that, but at the same time, when she shot his fingers off in 2018, he grunted from the pain. And he also knew enough about what was going on with himself that he sought out treatment in the house of that family, the graveyard caretaker. He
Yeah.
was in the bathroom trying to bandage himself up.
Oh, that wasn't the pain. That was maybe the sound. He grunted with the sound. Like
No.
gun sound bother him.
No,
Maybe?
he physically reacted. He physically reacted to getting shot
Sound
in the hand. No.
When it comes to the film quality, I mean, there's not really much to say, but editing wise, it kind of like time jumped at specific points. I can't.
Well, yeah, it doesn't indicate when
Like, the
the actual
editing-
story gets started.
And until the ending when it says like Halloween.
Halloween,
When
Halloween. So
in
you
the
don't
blue
know.
font.
I mean,
yeah.
Did you guys
I'm
have
assuming
issues?
it's like October, maybe.
Well, if it's Halloween, we know, but we don't know when. It may be
Right.
this relationship between Corey and Allison. Who the heck knows how long it really went on? Was it days, weeks, months? No clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
what would you guys say about the editing? I mean, besides the writing, with some stuff making no sense.
I
at
didn't
least
necessarily pick up on technical problems, though there were
Yeah.
things that had been cut out. It's technical
yeah.
problems
Yeah.
as far as that. There were things that had been cut from the trailer. There were multiple things that were cut from the trailer, that even the teaser.
Well, didn't the lighting look different with the whole ending sequence than with the beginning of the sequence?
By
Movie.
ending sequence, which ending sequence do you mean?
The part where he's fighting Lori in her house, it almost seemed that there was a darker blue. I know it was. I know
Color
it was
palette?
yeah, like the color palette was like it was almost like it was a reshoot shoot.
Well, it's very possible because they did do reshoots. I don't know what they reshot.
And I thought the audio sounded slightly different. That may have been the speaker, but like there's more of a ting with like Laurie's speaking and stuff towards the ending.
I didn't notice that, but but that's possible. It just went right past me, or it might have been because the room you were in was that the one with the speaker problems.
That was one of the ones with the speaker problems. Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't notice that through the beginning of the film, and you would think I would have picked up earlier.
The music. I can't really say much about the music. I mean, I know the main theme song.
Typical John Carpenter and his son and some other guy.
Yeah.
Fine.
As for the enjoyment portion, well, as we've already spoken about it, there was so much like issues with this movie. I was thinking to myself, I'm getting a different vibe from it. Mm-hmm. I'm getting more like a slice of life filler. However, Michael is kind of a little different when it comes to a specific character.
He's older. He wants to pass on his legacy. He finds this young man that he relates to.
No.
They soul bond. It happens all the time.
But see, that's what doesn't... See, that's the whole thing that, the whole thing about him doing the soul gaze. Like, he even has... like, he's even that type of person that can be aware of things like that. He's always been described as just an empty shell, pure evil. That's all he is. He has the darkest eyes, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes, whatever. And he's nothing but pure evil. Dr. Loomis said that. And there's just, he had been described as just like someone with the mind of a child. But
that would explain the art he does in the movie.
I guess. I just can't say enough bad things about this movie.
The direction was just odd, too.
Well, it did not even feel like it was a movie done by the same team that had done 2018. Kills felt that way as well. And I just think, Jamie Lee Curtis had warned the fans. They were going to be angry. Well, I wonder what that warning meant. I wonder, when she said this, did it mean that Laurie was going to die? Did they kill Laurie in some of the initial shooting? Because, they filmed a whole bunch of endings, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Did that mean she thought Laurie was going to die? Or did that mean she thought Michael was supposed to live? Or did that mean she knew the direction this thing was going and she felt like it was going to be such a bold and stunning thing and it was going to make the fans upset or whatever? The problem is it has made the fans very upset. It's not because they took these brave leaps and did these very daring things. It's because they went off track. They strayed so far from the formula of what worked with the 78 version and 2018 that they lost most of the fans in the process. This movie is rated very low with Cinema Score. That doesn't always mean everything. Some movies can be really good but even have a low Cinema Score rating. Some movies can be bad and have a high Cinema Score rating.
Well, I don't understand why they didn't look at the fact of how well 2018 was received. So why couldn't they just keep the same formula for the next two movies?
Well, in my live stream that I had a few days ago, either Dee or Derek or both of them mentioned that they just felt like that the movie got bigger than they expected and it kind of ran away from them and they just didn't know what to do. I personally think it would have been perfect if they had just ended at 2018. That gave you an open-ended sort of situation. You could believe Michael died if you wanted to, or you could believe he lived if you wanted to. I think it had something in it that could satisfy all or most fans. Those who wanted him to live, those who wanted him to die. I wanted him to die. I'm glad he died. But the way they got it there was so terrible and it just felt so half-baked.
Matt, what were your thoughts?
I mean, it was okay. I got they were trying to do like almost a reboot thing with it. Like with the parts where you're not seeing him. Like
Michael 2.0?
Kind of like an edgy reboot. Like if you've ever seen those reboots where they're like, we're going to put the character you want to see, but in the ending of the movie. And it's not going to be the way you think.
He's just going to have a cameo.
Yeah, Also, the bar they were in, was that the same bar from Ends? No. Yeah.
No, you mean Kills? You mean Kills?
Or Kills. Yeah.
No, it didn't look like it, and no, I don't think it was.
I would have kept maybe that because it would have circled back
like their
better.
little hangout part, yeah, their little
right,
hangout place.
like it's. I can get behind the 4-year time skip, right?
I couldn't. Wasn't crazy about that.
I mean, if they get it right, maybe not at the beginning of the film, maybe towards the ending.
They did it right.
If they did it right, they could still make another movie. They left it maybe a little open-ended.
No,
with that one scene
with the mask on the table.
No, not that.
What
earlier, scene? Where Corey slept with Allison.
Oh yeah, with Allison and maybe a little baby. But no, I don't think so.
Which will have the soul of Michael.
No, they had better not do that because you cannot. You just cannot have an effective Halloween movie unless Michael Myers is involved and he's frozen.
Or Allison's gonna die in childbirth, and they're gonna name the child Michael, and we're like, in 16 years, we're gonna get Michael.
No, they're
Myers
not gonna name the
Jr.
child Michael.
And this is how you could set up another sequel.
No, I don't think these people are. I mean, there will be more Halloween movies at some point, but the problem is, you know, they're gonna reboot it.
To conclude, Halloween Ends. What a way to end a trilogy, but then again, in this day and age, a lot of these good properties that were so good back in the day have been taken, put in a, well, like how Matt would like to say, put in a blender, and it comes out wrong.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like when Corey Michaels' movies like mixed all that stuff in a blender, and he drank it, and it was so disgusting that he spit it out. It's like that.
Yeah, so, it's frustrating, and
I would rate it as a disappointing conclusion.
6.5.
Oh my gosh, you're being very generous. That's what I would give Kills, a 6 or a 6.5.
I'm being nice.
You are being nice. What would you give Kills? An 8?
No, maybe a 7.
Oh, okay, you're being generous with Kills.
Yeah.
Well,
I was hoping to see you rant a little more, just like how you did with Kills.
I feel like I've been all ranted out. You know, I ranted in the car after my out of the theater reaction.
Well, yeah, then Michael Myers paid you a visit.
Then I came home and I ranted in my review. And then the following Sunday, I had a 4-hour rant with some friends. So I'm about ranted out. About all I have
but
left
I wanted
is
to show
rolls.
it for my episode, the rant.
Well, what do you want me to rant about? Because there's plenty, but I mean, I've said it all already.
Just complaining.
Like. I'm sad at this point. I'm just sad. No, you know what? You know what? In the middle of the night when I woke up, so I saw the movie Thursday. I went to bed, woke up, you know, like to roll over, go to the bathroom, whatever. You know, you wake up during the night. And I was like in a foul mood. And I was like, why? Oh, it's because Halloween. I wake up Friday morning. I'm in a foul mood. It's because Halloween, because I was still so mad and disappointed about how, and it's weird because I felt this odd sense of sadness that Michael Myers was gone. Like his character was dead in that timeline. And then I thought to myself, now why? Because Michael Myers is scary and he's bad and I wanted him to die. And I realized the reason I was sad is because his character, I felt like his character, as bad as he is, as much as I wanted him to die, his character was treated so disrespectfully. I wanted a better ending for him. I wanted something that was more satisfying and just so much better than what we got. For a villain that legendary and iconic, and they treated him just like this little side thought. It just... So... Yeah, it's a weird mix of emotions I have about this movie. And it's like you feel like you invest so many decades of your life being, you know, like really drawn to this story and these characters. And then they just throw it all down the crapper. That's it feels really, really disrespectful to the fans, and it feels disrespectful to the source material.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess what can you do? I mean, all you can do is
You can just moan and complain about it online.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So.
Well, I got really nothing else to say. You could find Cyns' corner where she laughs, she cries, she lists a little bit of both. Sometimes Matt Air, he hops on whenever we do reviews for specific things. We still need to do some reviews for some. Oh, we probably need to do more reviews for some specific animes, like some of the Gundams at least. There's still that.
I'm recording this with my recorder because I keep having nightmares. After I shot him multiple times, I mean, I was kind of surprised that he would still be lurking in my nightmares. I mean, he's dead. I mean, Michael Myers is dead, but I feel like his ghost is still haunting me or something. Lurking around the corner. He haunts this specific woman that tends to hop on Arturo's show in the studio. I mean, she may have it worse than me, but I'm the one that shot him. And yet, I feel like I sense his presence, man. The other clones just laugh at me. They think I'm crazy. Even though I told them I shot him, and yet I feel like his spirit is still roaming around the studio. It's like he's lurking.